I just spilled my water on myself. That's cool. I'm supposed to also be recording the wrap up right now.
I have lost my train of thought. We were talking about the book, but I didn't want to give spoilers, so it's okay. I mean, it's fun. And I'm like, I'm going to read all of them.
I have already accepted that fact, and if you've watched this long, you have accepted that fact too.
I say that like it didn't take a long time.
The original intro to the vlog maybe went a bit sped up and chaotic. So hello, good morning. It is September. We're starting the Orilium readathon. This is also talking fast, but I'm going to insert the original clip I did yesterday because the kittens were out and one of them was trying to eat the bottom of the tripod. My daughter was sitting behind me brushing her hair and laughing her head off. And I should still let them be a part of that. And then we will get back to today's portion. No idea how we look. Happy September. The cat keeps biting the bottom of the tripod and moving it, so I don't know. It is magical readathon month though, and it's not a good time for that. So probably I'll have to get this scroll that costs the whole 50 points that I would have made and then just make no points except the monthly year in Orilium challenge here because the other day none of the cats were put up this morning. It was an unfortunate oversight. So I have ideas for how I'm going to do it, and mostly probably it means combining subjects under just one book, even though it's not the 500 pages that the scroll allows. And thus, like I said, we're just going to have to use that scroll of completion for 50 points, but I will still try to read the books and I'll tell you which topics they fit as we go along. Good morning, September the 2nd. The plans have completely changed from whatever I was just saying yesterday. Completely now. I have fallen, I think, in love with this manga series. It is just so adorable and precious, and yes, on so many levels. Like there was one chapter scene that I was like, this is Onyx. This is exactly how she does with the little licky treats. Like, she is bad. We started getting the licky treats because she would not eat the hard treats. Well, they're not hard. They're just the little squares that you crunch into, but she wouldn't do it. They didn't smell good to her. She wouldn't even try them. So we got the licky treats, and now all the cats are addicted to the licky treats. But none of them growl and try to pull it away like she does. But Cat Plus Gamer, and I can tell you the author's name, Wataru Nadatandi. I'm so sorry. Yes. Okay, that happened. Nadatandi. I read volumes 1 through 3 yesterday. That is a thing that happened. Started volume 1 before the opening sprints. Then there was volume 2 that I read during sprints, and volume 3 that I didn't even get to start volume 3 until after sprints were over. So yeah, after the first one, I was like, I could actually do the magical readathon now. I can't. I'm just going to fill in with mangas and see that. I did have that thought, but I was like, I don't know. I want to plan that, and I don't like the manga, or at first I wasn't even sure what manga we were even going to go with. And by the time I was on volume 2, I was like, can I fill in every prompt with this? And I'm scrolling through all the volumes. Unfortunately though, no, we can't. I mean, not unfortunately. So yesterday we finished the first one of Lore. It was Lore, Forgotten Tongues, which is the translated book. So that was volume 1. Then I completely changed what the plan was for prime numbers, how I was going to do elemental studies. And the first prompt of Inscription, the magic of primes, need a prime number, to Cat Plus Gamer volume 2, because if I don't count the volume thing, then it's a prime number. If we just say Cat Plus Gamer, that's a prime number of letters. So volume 2 counted for that one. And then for ordinary archiving in a vertical spine title, which also the elemental studies book could also probably go there, because from the editions I've seen, because I don't own this one, and based off its first book in the series, the title is vertical on the spine. And I had this other sci-fi that I wanted to put in there, but it's like 600 pages long and I didn't know if I'd be able to. That was the original plan. But instead we went with Cat Plus Gamer volume 3 because its title is vertical on the spine. Now, this is the real question. All of those were yesterday. I could go ahead and read Cat Plus Gamer volume 4 and finish out all of Inscription, because an animal on the cover is for distinguished. I do have The Butcher's Masquerade, the next book in Dungeon Crawler Carl, in this spot because Donut. And also I think it's Prepotente is on the cover too. I'm not entirely sure because I haven't started it, but yeah. I was going to do it for Donut, but I could do volume 4. It's only 8 volumes, and somehow I think I'm going to read all 8 in September. I don't know. It is just so adorable. I should probably tell you what Cat Plus Gamer is about. I just spilled my water on myself. That's cool. I'm supposed to also be recording the wrap-up right now, so we need to hurry this clip along. Cat Plus Gamer follows Riku Kazikawa as she is a office worker. I think she works in accounts at a distribution company, and the security guard finds a kitten in their parking lot, and this is someone who does her 8 to 5, does the work quickly, never does overtime, never goes out with her coworkers, so she can go home and game. That's all she does. All sorts of gaming too. Like, each volume is kind of her doing a different sort of gaming. There's one game though that will come back around that she plays with other people online. But the security guard brings in this kitten that was found in the parking lot. It is a beautiful little tuxedo cat, and for some reason she says, I'll take it. She's never had a pet. So she stops at the pet store on the way home to see what she needs to get, and she always calls the girl at the pet store shopkeeper. Like, even when the girl says her name, shopkeeper. Like from games, it's the shopkeeper. Okay. And you can see the girl's thoughts as, what in the world? And it's just their adventures as she's trying to figure out how to be a cat owner, and figure the first volume is, getting used to it, feeding it, taking it to the vet for the first time, and also figuring out whether it's a boy or girl. It took her about a week to realize, oh, I don't know and I haven't named you. And she names it Matsubi, right? Masubi. Mosubi? There's no T there. Musubi. So sweet. Most of the book is from Riko's perspective, but then you have the little bonus chapters in between the main chapters where it's from Masubi's perspective. The little cat is like one of the scenes in the chapter. It'll be a short little snippet of that scene from the cat's perspective as he's figuring it out. Like, I think the first one was how he ended up in the parking lot. Like, he'd been following his brother's tail so he didn't get lost from his mom. And then there was a butterfly and he got distracted and he ended up in the parking lot. I'm probably overselling how adorable it is. I just love this. I just love it, okay? So, yes, I'll probably read all 8. Maybe or maybe not reading volume 4 to finish out this class. I have already borrowed it from the library though. My library has all 8 of them, so there's no problem doing that. So yeah, now I do believe I will be able to do all of the classes. I also found the one that I had never found a book was able to put anything in this place because it required a single POV. I did more Google searches, and it seems that Murderbot might only be from Murderbot's perspective. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I'm going to try All Systems Red because it's only 156 pages. That's what I was looking for. It's very short. And then still reading Where the Library Hides for Elemental Studies. Possibly The Butcher's Masquerade, either for the one with the animal on the cover, or this is also the stretch. I needed a book with letters either on the cover or inside of it. And I'm going to say that the messages that they can send in Dungeon Crawler Carl count as letters, because there are no letters. So I'm going to count it because I have no idea what else to read for that. I have looked for other things and I can't decide on any of them. That is the update for now. We have our second cup of coffee of the morning. I really need to figure out how to attach this thing properly to where I don't feel like it's going to mess up. Also, how far away from the face. I should really have figured this out by now. I don't know. We have switched to this microphone, which was generally considered the vlogging microphone when I was trying to do vlogs better earlier in the year. Mostly because the AC unit / dehumidifier, as they sold it to us, is it never turns off. Like, even when the AC fan's not blowing, it's going. So the other mic, I think, is pick up that noise a lot more, and hopefully this one doesn't, because it has the shorter range and stuff. So hopefully that noise will not be
picked up as much in this one, but we are here at the different location as promised. I really hope, because I didn't use this microphone for the first 2 shots because I actually forgot that, vlogging, I should use a different microphone. Hello, yes, I know we're rambling this morning. Did not update yesterday because I was finishing up the video, getting everything done and processed and thumbnails and, reading. So Tuesday, I think I mentioned in that update about the debate I was having for finishing Inscription with the animal on the cover, starting Dungeon Crawler Carl or just reading Volume 4. If I filmed that, little B-roll clip right, you will would have seen what happened. I read Volume 4 of Cat Plus Gamer. I think I'm saying that right. It is supposed to be Cat Plus Gamer, right? Because even when you search it, you have to put the plus there. It's got to be Cat Plus Gamer. It's not like Hunter, where, the X is there, but you don't say the X. In Volume 4, though, there was another cat introduced. Okay, I shouldn't spoil it for people who might hopefully go check out the manga. Is it right to call it cozy or maybe slice of life? I'm not sure. Maybe slice of life fits best. It's just adorable, and I'm so glad I found this. I'm trying to poke my son into reading it. But I also did manage to start, I only read 11 pages that day though, Where the Library Hides by Isabel Ibanez. And yesterday though, I reached page 100 exactly at chapter 8. Or Capítulo 8, because it's always Spanish titles in the... Well, it picked up right where the epilogue of the first book left us, with that question? Statement? As our character Inez mentions at the beginning of this book, it wasn't quite a question, even though he was asking her that. It wasn't quite... Okay, I don't want to spoil the first book. I really, really don't, for those who haven't quite read it yet. But, okay, our main character, Inez, she had lost her parents. This is all from the first book. She lost her globetrotting parents who always left her in Buenos Aires with her aunt and traveled to Egypt for half the year. They loved Egypt. They loved excavating over there. Well, they were more the funders of the project. And her uncle, her mother's brother, was the archaeologist working with the Egyptians, actually trying to recover their own history and find the lost artifacts and all this stuff. Well, her parents died. And then she was going to be just trapped in Buenos Aires and would never get to go to Egypt that she'd always dreamed about. And she didn't really understand how they died or believe the story. So she smuggled herself there, pretended to be a widow, because this is 1920s maybe. So Egypt is occupied by Britain at this point. And young ladies, of course, are not supposed to be out without chaperones. So she pretended to be a widow to travel all the way across the Atlantic Ocean to go to Egypt and find out what happened to her parents. Her uncle is furious. She tries to send her home, but she ends up out on an expedition to, where they're investigating, trying to find clues to Cleopatra's tomb. And her uncle's assistant, Wit, who is an English former officer. Lots of things happened with Wit's past. Gonna leave it there, so I'm not spoiling the first book too much either. In the epilogue of the first book, as I said, there was something that was happening. Wit came to Inez, and there was a statement-ish question made. And then there was a little bit from Wit's perspective. I don't know if that was just an extra chapter. I no longer remember if that was just an Owl Crate extra chapter thing. Because of that, I didn't want to put this in my restoration class. It had to get, besides elemental studies for the water on the cover, I didn't think I could put it in restoration for single POV. I don't think we saw from Wit at all in the first book until that last little bit. I could be misremembering. I could be. I hope not, though. This book, we keep seeing from Wit. Oh, yeah, I think we did in the first book, actually, too, because we saw that scene of him at the bar getting information, pretending to be drunk. Never mind. Okay. Still probably misremembered something, but I think we're seeing from Wit a whole lot more. And something that at the end of chapter 7, oh my gosh, I want to throttle him. And earlier, I think it was chapter 5, after the thing happened, and I'm like, how could you do this? So there's been another revelation, and I don't know. I mean, maybe, but also I'm not entirely sure. I still trust Isadora. I'm kind of in between Inez and Wit's level of trust. Wit fully doesn't trust her, believes she's scheming. Inez now trusts her in what she's saying, but I'm somewhere in the middle. I don't know. I mean, what she said, it makes sense, Seems like only somebody like that would know that. That's where we are, though. We actually reached page 100. I can't believe it. I should not have keep holding this up. I would like to reach page 200 still today as well. I would. not sure if it's going to happen. And I'm trying to tell myself I need to finish this book before I can start Dungeon Crawler Carl. Or maybe we save Dungeon Crawler Carl to be like the last book too. We do this one and then All Systems Red, and then we can devote ourselves to The Butcher's Masquerade. It is still the first week though. It is still the first week of the readathon. I can't believe we've already completed a whole class. I'm a good quarter of the way towards completing elemental studies. I need to stop holding this up. I don't know why I keep holding this up for you. The light keeps shifting. I don't know if it's the right setting anymore. Okay, I see so many people at this, but then it like makes your shirt go all weird. Let's test it. Let's see, how do we sound with it clipped to us like this? Good morning. I have my Muggle Monster because I did make coffee, but I only had enough sweetener for like a little bit. It's so sad. So we had to switch. I didn't put the babies up again. I even got a different chair so it's not to move, buddy. And Onyx is now pawing at my leg. This is where we are this morning. We are almost done with 1 week at Orilium Academy. And G has announced that our first pet reveal is going to be, I think, in like 25 minutes. Because apparently I took that long to get moderately ready this morning. That's how long this took. And yes, we do already have a Halloween shirt on because everything else is either in a state of being washed or needing to be folded. And that's a lot of energy for this early in the morning. I am actually a little bit proud of myself that I've been inputting my pages read, probably because, you know, I did it really good in spring too, because the dragons, and now they're pet sanctuary, so yay. Let's see, I read hardly anything Friday. Also, probably why I didn't film is because I read 7 pages. I have been putting my pages read per day in my Notion. Also proud of me for keeping up with that. Saturday, that was yesterday, right? I read about 109. No, 180 pages. And just finished Where the Library Hides by Isabel Ibanez. And so I concluded a duology, bringing the total of completed series this year up to 4. I still think I like the first one a little bit better. I do. And I don't know, there was just so many instances where Inez is like, she trusts so much, even though after she's found out so much lies in her life about people she loved, and like she just kept getting hurt because she was just so naively trusting. And you would think she would learn a little bit and be a little bit more cynical, but no. We kept falling into that, why are you there? Don't pay attention to the cats. So I liked the ending of it. And the epilogue of this one, it wasn't a normal epilogue either. It was kind of like at the end of a movie where, you know, it'll put somebody's picture up on screen and say they went on to do blah, blah, blah. That's what it did. You know, it had a little portrait of them and said what the rest of their life was, like in a brief paragraph. This is why they should be put up. It really is. But I thought they'd be good. They're bird watching. He is. He's still in, you know, my normal chair. He's going back to sleep, kind of. I have lost my train of thought. We were talking about the book, but I didn't want to give spoilers, so. I didn't like the end of the book, though, when we found the library, essentially. That felt kind of rushed. Like, we had more time with Cleopatra's tomb in the first book than we got with the library in this one. And it would have been nice to have had a bit more time there, because this one we didn't have the archaeological site and everything, but I mean, I guess it is, you know. So this morning, after the announcement, I'm going to be working on this vlog and then starting All Systems Read by Martha Wells. It's only like 157 pages, the first of the Murder Vault Diaries. So we won't finish it today. We won't finish it today. There won't be another book finished within the first week of Orilium. But wow, I did a lot. Will we get all the classes done within the first 2 weeks of Orilium though? And this just be like one Orilium vlog for this semester. See you tomorrow. Or later today if something ends up happening with the book and I'm like, oh my gosh. Hello, sunshine. Good morning. Hopefully you can't see yet what I'm holding, because the plan from what I said yesterday to today, also yet again, the audio might sound different because now I'm not holding it. I got it clipped. We're trying the clippy thing and I don't know yet. I think the audio for this vlog is going to be all over the place because I had the other mic. I was holding this one. I clipped it to myself and it was in there. And while I was working on editing it yesterday, everything sounded different. And I tried a few different things to it, and having it on one audio track with it when set to be a specific way, it sounds this way, and having it on the other one, it sounds this way, and I can't decide which one is actually a better idea. We're here for books. not that. And realistically, I guess you guys would just tell me what sounds the worst, because I also am afraid my headset's going out, because it was at one level and then all of a sudden it dropped and I'm like, huh. But it didn't actually change the audio level. And when I rewound it, it was still at that drop level. So that tells me it was definitely the headset. I did not start All Systems Ready yesterday. Instead, I started the audio book for Five Broken Blades. It looks like this on the hardcover that I have. So pretty. And mostly just listening to it with the audiobook while running to the store and cooking yesterday. And I got to the end of chapter 8, so page 60. When I started it while driving, it was a little harder, I think, to understand what was happening and where we were. And now my nose probably looks funny because I had like a cat hair or something attack my nose, and it might be red now. I'm sorry. So the first 3 chapters, I think, 'cause they all went pretty fast, were different. I was trying to understand what's going on. This is based on Korean folklore, mythology-ish kind of. Well, it's inspired. It's inspired by that. I won't say it's based on it. It's inspired by that. So we're going from there. The audiobook is full cast narration, so every single character has a different, this might be shiny into the camera, sorry. Everyone has a different narrator. The first 3 were, or I guess 3 main characters. And then we started back with the one that we had seen in the first chapter. First book, my gosh. So far though, I think we've been introduced to 5 out of our 6 characters, but we've only seen chapters from 4 of those 6. The last, chapter 8, I listened to it while actually reading the book, so I'm going to try to immersion read, and maybe that way I can grasp more what's going on. Now, I knew that we were going to have these 6 characters all trying to murder the God King, right? But I kind of thought that they were, I don't know why, but I thought that they were together and then sent off into missions to do things. No, they all start, I think, in different places. That's what I need to double check the map with, because it says the character name and where they are at the beginning of every chapter. But they all are going after the God King for different reasons, and I think from different places, and they are going in pairs, mostly because one is being hired by the other to go on this. It wasn't exactly their idea. One of which is the prince. The king's younger brother has been recruited by the royal spy master, who was his lover before things went down, and he's been recruited to go, assassinate his brother. But it sounds like it's for the good of the country, though, because it sounds like a lot of things in the country have gone downhill since this king took over ruling over a decade ago, I think, because I do believe our first character we met said that the king ascended to his throne when he was a child, when our first main character, Royal, was a child. And he's kind of a brute, muscle for hire. That's what he does now. And he has been recruited by a thief to protect her on the way to the capital to steal the God King's crown, which will make him vulnerable. Because while wearing this dragon Lord's crown, he's pretty much immortal. Nothing can kill him. Things can hurt him, it sounds like. Sounds like something hurt him. Okay, I don't know how many pages I should try to read per day, and which also I need to get the bookshelf. I need to get the bookshelf tackled. So I kind of want to try to do that today and then film for Friday tomorrow. So maybe only get to page 100 today. Finally got the bookshelf organized, kind of, a little bit. It's updated for now, at least. There's still a few things that don't quite have anywhere to go. It's unfortunate, and also I feel like there's something missing from it. Like there was maybe another one of the fall type decorations that I had last year, and I don't know where I put it. It's not anywhere that is locatable. But yesterday we did a lot of reading. I think when I just did the math, it was like 126 pages. So now we are just past the halfway point. And what I was doing is, well, yes, I was listening to it a lot while having to do cleanings yesterday, also why I did not update. But I was also listening while physically reading it as well. So doing the immersion, that way they're pronouncing all of the names of peoples and places, and also full cast, so each character has a different narrator. That's, I don't know, I like it. I like that setup a lot. It made it feel better. Do I fully Am I fully into what's going on? I don't know. It's very hard to say. Like, I'm kind of liking it, but I'm like, I don't know right now. It's weird. But like, while I'm also having this feeling like it's, it's okay. I mean, it's fun. And I'm like, I'm going to read all of them. Okay, well, why am I thinking I'm going to read all of them? It's just, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. And I'm not entirely sure why. I still do love this gorgeous edition. Probably like when I first started the book yesterday is when we got to finally see from the sixth person's perspective, because when I'd updated, I think I said we'd only seen from 4 of them, but we had met 5 of them. And then right after we got to see from Mikhail's perspective, we got to see from his perspective as well. And now we've got to see from Taisong's. See, this is why I have them say the names to me. So we now know pretty much everybody's motivations for why they want to kill the king. We also know some fears regarding it for certain characters and different things. Some of them is not necessarily that this was their thought and their motivation that they're going on this mission. Like Royo, he was hired for it and like now he's all in and everything. And he does have a reasoning for this, but he's not necessarily on the king. And then the prince, we know what that one is, and now when we have found out a secret about that, Sora, we know she's our assassin, why she has to, she doesn't really have a choice, but now we know something about her sister, and then now there's this other interconnection, but possibly with the prince. I don't know about that. I don't know. All the characters seem to have this odd bit of connection between them. We don't know exactly what why she's doing this. We don't know her whole story, her whole backstory. Royo doesn't know who his father is. I don't think that's going to come into play. I wonder, though, if they're all going to be connected in some weird way that they didn't know they were connected in. More so interconnected. I'm going to put on my audiobook and listen for a little while and enjoy my second mug of coffee, because we've gotten the first set of morning's tasks done, so now we can read for a little bit. Not sure how long, but I do believe I'm going to finish the book today. I don't know why I believe this, because I'm at 269 out of 474, but I think the audiobook says it's only got like 2 hours. I think I messed up the audiobook timing though, because I'll listen to it faster while physically reading than I do while, okay, because yeah, that says 4 hours at 1.5. Okay, and we change it and 3 hours at 2. Okay, 3 hours. I might still be able to finish it today. We'll find out. Let's start reading. I would get a blanket to get cozier, but Sunshine is occupying the blanket. So that's where we're at. All right, this is gonna be try 2, because the first one, I looked at it a little bit ago and I totally cut my head off and I was in a hurry, so I was talking really, really fast. Today, I thought about filming earlier, but I finished All Systems Red instead. I did. I finished the first Murderbot, and while I liked it, Murderbot was so funny, I don't think I loved it the way a lot of people do. Probably I will eventually continue on with this series, but I'm not going to put it as a priority, I think, for a little while. Also, Thursday morning, though, which really should have just filmed Thursday, I finished, why am I holding up both of them? I don't know, 5 Broken Blades by Mike Corland. So the extra credit, Year in Aurelia, that's done. And I logged my pages for this one yesterday, so yay. Hopefully we are very close to the 2 million pages read. That way we can get the next little animal reveal. The first one was very funny. I'm actually a little surprised we haven't hit the 2 million yet. We hit 1 million really fast. What if we don't? Because most people are picking shorter books, kind of like I did. I'd be It's a little sad because we did so good with the dragon challenge. But 5 Broken Blades. I liked it. It ended up being 4 stars when I put it in co-pile. And it's interesting. I've already also gotten the second book ready for whenever. I have no idea when, but I've already gotten it to continue. I have thoughts. The twist, I didn't think that was going to be the angle. I thought it was going to be a different person was that. And then the person that it ended up being, I thought it was going to be like a count was the father that she kept writing to. Also, did I ever tell you any of the characters' names in any of these updates? Who are we following? I don't remember. I think I did at the beginning. I think I told you about Yoon, who's the exiled prince. I know I kept calling him the exiled prince. And then his counterpartner would be Mikhail, who is the spy master for the king. And then there is Sora, the poison mistress, who I really don't understand why she's sent on the mission. And that's going to be book 2. Because of who they're after, it doesn't make quite as much sense. Because with how she kills people. Even if that was their personal persuasion, I do believe that that person is going to be a whole lot more paranoid / suspicious and ruthless. So I don't think that it's going to present itself in the same situation that it did with King June, to where that would be useful. That's the funniest thing about this, the fact that it is 4 stars and I enjoyed it. And it was just like easily readable, possibly also because the audiobook presentation was just really, really good. So even when I was reading it, I was like listening to do the immersion reading to have it. Maybe that's just also part of the enjoyment experience, because otherwise there was big chunks in the middle where I was like, it doesn't seem like much is happening. And I'm just kind of like, I couldn't tell you. I'm so glad I didn't say I was going to do like an in-depth review to this one at this point, because I don't think I could. Maybe also because we were doing it for the readathon and doing other stuff at the same time, that was taking a lot more of my focus. We'll go with that, and not just I was able to easily tune this out. But overall, it was a fun experience. I'm glad that I finally read it, and then I will continue with 4 Shattered Realms. Is that what it is? Or is it 3 Shattered Souls? I don't know. I know the next book is 4 something something, and then the 3rd book is 3 something something. Do I think we'll be able to finish the trilogy this year and have another series completed? No, of course not. On to the Murderbot that I started today and finished. All Systems Red by Martha Wells. As I said, did I say? I don't remember. I liked it, but I didn't quite love it, and I will eventually get around to it. I feel like I did say that in this take of the clip, not the one where I chopped my head off. But it was only 150 pages, so there's not so much. And if you've seen the show too, that is the story of the first book, and that helped me picture the characters. Though were more people of the Preservation Society survey team on the planet than were in the show. Also, I feel like some of the couples were different from the show to the book. Or maybe I'm just completely misremembering the names. The only one I think I was actually putting the faces to was like Pinling. Was that their name? Maybe. And the commander, Mesa. Now I'm forgetting if there's an N in there. I don't think there's an N. The commander of the expedition and their society. I could picture her face with the actor's face. And the other one. Oh, and the one that's the altered human. They're the accurate ones. And then I know that there were 3 other actors on the show, but I feel like there was 4 more names in the book. So there's that. Okay, I don't know where I'm going with this. One more class to finish, though. Can we finish it this weekend? I want to say yes, because the book I'm going to do is, yeah, I'm making another change. Yes, I know. We've already done this twice, but we're making another change. Because I do feel bad trying to say that just the messages in Dungeon Crawler Crawl, which while yes, they are kind of like letters, they're also kind of like text messages and stuff. And it is supposed to be ancient post, so a book with letters and stuff. And so I was going through the things I have when I was, and Starling House by Alexi Harrow. There is a letter in the book, not an author letter, but like a letter actually in the book. It was between this and The Unmaking of June Farrow, but that one, it only seems like she found a letter and just was reading like the outside address and stuff. And that's all I could tell just from the brief flip through. This one, there's just over 300 pages. Do I remember what this book is about? Not so much, except that I think it takes place in Kentucky. And our main character is trying to get her brother out of this town that they're in for some reason. So she takes the job at Starling House, and I don't remember what else is supposed to happen from there. But the reversible dust jacket, they're in a library. Every sin comes home to roost. And it says, this is the story of Starling House. So that's really cool vibes. And while I was just flipping through, I noticed that, so that's almost like nothing pages. And then there was like an actual artwork for a whole page in here somewhere too. And they have footnotes on the pages. Oh, it's probably not a good idea to show you the artwork, but still, I'll show you. So that's cool. So that makes it even less than their 300 pages, realistically, that you have to read. Okay, I hear a child coming. So we're going to end the clip here, and we'll update you later. Yeah, we're just gonna hold it, and all the audio is different in this vlog. I have already accepted that fact, and if you've watched this long, you have accepted that fact too, and I do apologize for that though. I'm hoping though with this one today that I will get the audio right for the October books, because that's what we're about to film this morning. I am very excited. I got my new Boo shirt on with my little ghosty carrying books everywhere. It's adorable. I love it. Though maybe I did order a size too big. This is a very big shirt. I think it said it was made big, but I was entirely uncertain as to which size I should be ordering. So I went with this one, and yep, it is not thick either, but we're not here to talk about my shirt. We are here because I read a very, very minimal amount of Starling House last night. And okay, our main character is Opal. She's 26. I want to say she's 26. And she is living to try and keep her little brother alive, to do everything she can for him. She dropped out of high school, I think because their mom died, and she works all the time she can to be able to provide for him, to get him out of this town of Eden, Kentucky, where there's pretty much no prospects, apparently, of anything. It's a dying town. It happens. He has gotten, I guess, some sort of interest letter from school after taking the PSAT. And she has tried to enroll him into an academy that's a little further away from them for the next school semester, though. So he's not that close to graduating, it sounds like. Did he say they're in 10th grade? I think he's in 10th grade. But the academy, of course, costs money, and they don't have money because it's just her working. And they've been poor their entire lives because her mom, I don't know what her mom did, but it sounds like it was very scammy. And then shockingly, though, we get the other perspective of Arthur Starling, the heir to Starling House, and he's apparently the warden of Starling House, like its protector or whatever. Like what? Opal has been having dreams of Starling House though since she was 11 or 12. She said when everybody in the fantasy books I used to read would, get magical powers or receive life-changing quests and things like that, she's had dreams of Starling House. Because apparently there was a fantastical book called Undertale written by, I think it was E. Starling, and she was captivated by this book. She read it forever and ever and ever, 20-ish pages in, and the book is super duper atmospheric, which normally is not my cup of tea, so we'll see how it goes. Because 20 pages in, hardly anything has happened, because we have so much descriptions of everything. Like, it's February. I can feel the chill. I can feel the chill of the book, because so much descriptions. Okay, also, it's brutal in the character descriptions too, as the way it talks about them, about her crooked teeth and how gaunt and thin she is, and how he's hunched over, like his shoulders hunched and like to protect himself or in pain or something. And then when she sees him the second time, it's actually in daylight and stuff. And she's like, the daylight only makes him uglier. Oh my God. It's 11 a.m. I read maybe 2 pages, 3 pages, I don't know. And yeah, that's all I've done today. But we're going to film our video now, and I'm filming it enough ahead of time that I don't actually have to work on editing it today. Should edit the vlog though, didn't do that yet. And then more things to get to with kids today. So we will get on with all of that, and I will update you later today, maybe tomorrow. We'll see if I can actually do any reading before the movie tonight.
The final battle. These words echo in my mind.
Let's kick things off, shall we? It's time we had some fun.
camera does not look crooked anymore. I see you looking at me, buddy. But from that test shot, I could tell my hair is a hot mess. And I went out in public like that. Well, I mean, I'm sure it was better together, less flying away from me when I got to the gym. But then I went to the grocery store. And then I ran to grab something for lunch. Yeah, we look great, I'm sure. Yesterday, I did a lot of reading. I did a good amount. I did like 120 pages or 122. So now we are past the halfway point of Starling House and things have finally started to happen. Okay, there's a lot. It's not even miscommunication because they refuse to communicate with each other. Opal and Author, there it is. And her brother Jasper. Her brother Jasper's in on it now, but she doesn't know he's in on it. Okay, I should not give spoilers. They're not communicating. She was lying to her brother about where she was working for no reason, really, except the whole town, is weird about the Starling House. They think that it's haunted and cult stuff, and please don't try to eat the box right now. Please. Yeah, I don't know what her brother's plan with it all is, how that's going, but they are at a disconnect at this point, and I don't like that for them. She also found out something about her mom's past that apparently her brother had already figured out because, he's like, if she actually cared to, true, but she also probably doesn't think along the same lines. She's thinking survival terms, to keep him alive and her alive, and that's all she was really thinking of most of the time. That was it. That's all the brain power she had. Well, not all the brain power, but that's where her focus had to be. I should have also updated because we went to go see the movie and everybody had fun, and I really wanted to get a picture of them like outside the poster, but they didn't have the poster for the movie in front of the theater. They had either The Conjuring or the creepy one with the kids, whatever that one was. And I'm like, well, this sucks. So many people though were dressed up there at the showing. It was so much fun. I like the movie so much, and I'm very sad that we probably have to wait like 2 more years until the next one, and then another 2 years until the last one comes out. There were some characters that we didn't get to see much, which sucked, but that's because we were focusing on the battles with these characters and also a good bit of backstory for like the bad guys. And I'm like, I get it, the show always kind of does this, but this was a really long amount of time on this one.
Always my helper when we're doing the dishes. Hi, sir. Hi.
What is it about putting on mascara that makes your nose run, or is that just a me thing? Good morning and welcome to a new week's vlog. It is Tuesday. Yes, I am in the same outfit combination that I wore for the October releases that was the Saturday update, because I didn't actually get a thumbnail picture done. So when that happens, I try to recreate the look as close as possible to get a picture done to be able to do the thumbnail. Because especially on ones like that where you're sitting in front of that microphone, I can't really do a thumbnail picture from the recording like that because it's the giant microphone. But I got a lot of reading done on Sunday. Not very much Saturday. Sunday I got a lot of reading done. Yesterday, not so much. And then today, it's been a lot of editing and running around and making stuff, getting stuff ready for my son's birthday because that's today. So I'm making cupcakes. Well, I've made said cupcakes. They still have to be iced. Oh crap, I haven't moved that to the dryer yet. I need to go move close to the dryer too. So we must make this fast. It would really help if I remembered, and I just edited the Saturday part of the vlog not that long ago, but then I switched to the October book releases, and so I don't even remember what the last thing is. I know that I'm over halfway. I'm like 60% done in my one chapter I read yesterday, and there was not a lot that happened until the halfway point. So until the halfway point, this almost felt more like just a regular contemporary fiction of somebody who's like had a hard life and they don't like their life very much, and they just want though to help their younger brother, to get their younger brother out of this dead-end town where there's like not very many jobs available, where it's affecting his health because he has asthma and the attacks seem to be getting worse, and she just wants to get him out because he's so smart. And okay. And then she goes to work for this grumpy recluse and be his housekeeper, fix up his house and things like that. Okay. All in the bounds of regular fiction. And then the supernatural elements start to actually pick up around the halfway point. And then the big thing has ended up happening now. Arthur, though, he has been keeping a track of things, trying to find out more of the facts, not just the mythology that all the previous words have been in, because he wants to end this. He is determined to be
Okay, so right now it was her and her brother last time, and they were talking about what her brother found from stealing something from Arthur. It is like a notebook he stole. Okay, so there's that. Okay, I would love to say I'm going to get further in, but yeah, probably not, because I have more video editing to do. So yeah, I will probably maybe get 20 pages read in the car rider line today. And that's all. And that's only slightly sad. Because, okay, it has picked up a little bit. I want to see where the story's going, and I want to be done. Oh, right. I should also tell you of the grave error that I have realized I made on my TBR. Remember when I said I needed a book with foil on the cover? I didn't. That was wrong. That was actually an October prompt, and not even for the course that I want to go down. So I need a book with blue on the cover. I think it was light blue. And this is periwinkle, so it doesn't count. I mean, I could maybe stretch it, but it's really more of a purpley or a mid blue. So maybe I could say where the library hides. I'd have to check the cover picture again, because I can't think of what else I have that fits it. So that's a little annoying. But yeah, I looked because I was looking at the October prompts to try to plan out what that one's going to be. All right, the hair might be rough. Hopefully the light's not too bad. It would be worse if I just took the camera in there to the living room with the lamp that makes me just look orange. I did read the one chapter, and then I just read another one to see if it get better. Okay, I don't think I've talked about the character as much, except, her slightly good things, but not her annoying traits. Her stubborn streak is a mile long. But it's getting a bit too much with our we ain't thinking into stubbornness. I just can't with her at this moment right now. Your whole adult life is to be, a batch brother. The whole reason you were blackmailed into doing this thing against Arthur that you eventually got too guilty and left was for your brother, because they kind of threatened your brother in a vague threat way. And now they come into your job, to your face, pretty much flat out threaten him. Because they say, I thought you cared about Jasper's safety. And she punches the lady. And then she just goes and sits on a railroad bridge over the river for an hour or so until she thinks to text him. And then he doesn't answer, so she starts calling. She doesn't get a hold of him. Really? They just threatened him, and you didn't think anything of it. You didn't immediately act upon this. Okay, that's my little middle of the night update, because that's so frustrating. And I just, with that, there's 100 pages left. And I have no idea what is even supposed to happen for the next 100 pages. Hello, it has been a few days now, but we finally finished Starling House by Alex E. Harrow, the contemporary urban Southern Gothic. Gothic's not the right word. I know it's not, but there's got to be a word for it. Fantasy. That most of the book didn't feel like fantasy. It really didn't. It just had the slight vibes later on. I think the last time I updated you is when I was starting to get annoyed with the characters. I forgot to look it up. I really did. I forgot to look it up. I know this was an Owl Crate book, but was this from when they started their adult line? Or is this a YA book? I mean, it feels YA, but with adult characters who act youngish because they were forced to grow up too soon, so they're still slightly immature. Yeah, because that tracks and makes sense. It's not that it was a bad book. I shouldn't say that. I just got really annoyed with the characters. And yet Opal pulls it all off, of course. In the end, she figures out what's causing everything, how to do the things. I mean, the way that played out was really good. I think that worked pretty well, though it was maybe a little bit rushed, I guess. I say that like it didn't take a long time to get to that point. I don't know the right word to describe how the end of this book went, except that the epilogue also had a portion that I'm like, really? No. Because, okay, the author, I read the author's note too. She based Eden, Kentucky on used to be real city, Paradise, Kentucky, where coal miners stripped the town bare, ruined it ecologically, all the things that the Tennessee, one of the state
overseer boards actually evacuated every member of the town, that it was no longer livable for safety reasons to your public health and everything. So that's pretty bad. That happened in the 70s, I think. So yeah, she based this on a real town, just added fantastical elements and had, the people who did it actually get punished for what happened. So all in all, that's a good thing. But this was also my last class for Magical Readathon. I think I did decide just to count where the library hides as my September year in Aurelia as well, adventure in Aurelia, because it has blue. It has the light blue on the cover and it has a slightly darker shade of blue. So that one will count. And now we just have to find a debut book for next month. I think I have one. It's just up to the library. And it does kind of suck though, because I wanted to read another book by this author next month. So I can do both, maybe. Probably not, but maybe. And we'll see. So we will be ending the Magical Readathon, or another year in Aurelia. Oh my gosh, that means in the spring I'm going into my last year as a scribe, and then I will totally just be picking another calling the next year and continuing my studies, because why not? This is a fun readathon. I hope your readathon has been great. You got all your classes done. You enjoyed the books. That's the most important thing. Did you enjoy the books you picked for your classes or end up swapping them out for other things? And I have no idea when this video is going up, or the next one I should say that you'll see from me. But I just hope you're having a lovely day, finding something great to read, and I will see you in the next one.